If you feel completely shut down after being around people, this is an introversion. It's your nervous system. If you've ever left a gathering and needed silence immediately, needed to lie down, felt strangely irritable, or like your whole system just powered off, you're not just tired, you're overloaded. I'm Diane, and welcome to The Resolution, where we move from emotional survival to sovereign empathy. And today I want to talk about something most empaths quietly carry shame around. You don't actually relax after socializing, you collapse. And there's a reason for that. For years, I thought that I just had low energy because after the mall, after birthday parties, after being around groups of people too long, I never felt good. I didn't feel restored. I felt gone, like I wasn't in my body anymore. And here's something about me that's still true to this day. One of the things I do is I always bring my own car. Always. Last night there was a limo situation where a bunch of friends were taking a limo to a birthday party, and it totally would have been fun and everyone riding together and coming back at 1 a.m. And I thought, no, I had a really heavy week and I'm just going to bring my own car. And it's not because I don't love people and not because I'm antisocial, but because I need to know that I can leave when my system reaches its limits. And that limit isn't dramatic. It's not emotional, or it's physiological. My body just says, you know what, that's enough. And for years, I judged myself about that. But now I understand it very clearly. As an empath, we don't just socialize, we process environments. I want you to really picture this, okay? You walk into a room, and before anyone speaks, your body already knows who feels tense. You notice tone shifts, micro expressions, subtle emotional undercurrents, who's slightly disconnected, who's performing, who's overwhelmed. And the thing is, you don't consciously choose to do this. Your nervous system does it automatically. And that kind of awareness activates your system. Even if you're smiling, even if you look calm, even if you're laughing, internally, your body is just tracking everything. And guess what? That tracking takes energy. So when you leave, you don't actually feel rested or, accomplished. You can feel depleted, because your body has actually been working the entire time. And here's something most empaths don't notice. There's always a moment before shutdown. It might look like you suddenly feel far away, your patience drops, you stop wanting to talk, the noise feels louder. You feel slightly irritated for absolutely no reason. And a lot of times you can start feeling like heavy behind your eyes. And that's your nervous system saying, I'm full. And if you don't regulate at that moment, guess what happens? Your system moves into protection. And what protection looks like is shutdown. Not rest, collapse, shutdown. But, shutdown isn't it doesn't mean that you're weak. It's a freeze response. It's your body saying, we absorb too much, we need to disconnect. And that's why you go home and lie down or scroll or just stare, avoid conversation. It's not laziness. It's your nervous system recovery. For many of us, for many empaths, this didn't begin socially. It began in childhood. If you grew up in unpredictability, your body learned that safety depended on awareness. You tracked tone, you read faces, you sensed tension, you predicted emotional shifts. Awareness became survival. And when something is wired through survival, it doesn't just turn off later. It keeps running. So now, even in safe rooms, your nervous system still scans. And that's exhausting. It's because you were trained to be hyper aware. This is the line that changed everything for me. Empaths don't lose energy because they feel. They lose energy because they lose themselves in what they feel. That's the leak. You know what? Feeling is beautiful. But merging unconsciously, that's draining. When you walk into a room and your body blends into everyone else's emotional field, there's no boundary, no differentiation. And without differentiation, there's no regulation. So later, you collapse. I was thinking about posting a full 15-minute guided nervous system reset, like meditation, specifically for empaths, something you can use after socializing to come back to yourself or just in general. I've got quite a few guided meditations that I've shared with clients, but let me know in the comments. I've been thinking about posting one, but I just want to see where you guys are at, if that would be something that you're interested in. Just a couple of 15-minute guided meditations, like sprinkled here and there in the channel. Let me know. But what changed my life wasn't becoming less sensitive. It was becoming more anchored. And one of the simplest practices I use before leaving an environment, I pause. I could even just put my hand on my heart, but sometimes, you're in a situation where you can't really do that. But you're just like, am I still here? Not physically, but energetically. Am I inside of myself? Or did I drift into everyone else in the environment? So what happens is that tiny awareness shift interrupts the absorption. I've said it before, when you bring the subconscious into the conscious, it's an interrupt, right? And you're kind of training yourself to your nervous system to learn that these environments are safe. So when you interrupt the absorption, you prevent the collapse. You can still bring your own car, I do, but now it's a choice. It's a choice. It's not a survival reflex. If I really wanted to, I could have went in the limo. I could have stayed until 1 a.m. I could have went back in the limo. I could have done the whole thing and I would have been fine again today because I'm aware when I start leaking, as I explained it. So when we start living in that, instead of using it as a survival reflex, it's sovereignty. And I need you to hear this very clearly. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing. Your nervous system adapted perfectly. Now it just needs regulation. Sensitivity isn't the problem. The lack of differentiation is. And that can be learned. You don't have to collapse after every gathering. You don't have to disappear to recover. You can keep feeling deeply and stay grounded. And that's the evolution from survival empath to sovereign empath. Awareness is the number one, is such a key factor in this, because you can interrupt, you can change things just like that. Just as you're starting to feel those, signs where your system is saying, whoops, it's a little bit too much, right? So, I hope that was helpful. I mean, it was just like on my mind because I just had this experience yesterday, and this week it was a really tough week. It was a heavy week, so there was a lot of emotions, and then I didn't really want to go out, but I did anyway for my friend, and I'm really grateful that I did. I had a lot of fun. But I think that if I was still in my old survival self, I would have collapsed. Today would have been just a day I hid in my room or like had 10,000 naps, So, so if you want to go deeper into nervous system tools for empaths, let me know that too, because I do have a lot of tools that I could share. I just want to know where everybody's at with it, because when an empath learns regulation instead of shutdown, their sensitivity stops draining them, and it becomes one of their greatest strengths. So thank you so much for joining me. As always, I'm so grateful for all of you being here with me. And if you feel called to, leave some of those comments if you want a meditation or if you want some tools. I can definitely sprinkle some of that into my content. And I'm really excited for the next couple of videos coming up, and I love you all, and I will see you on the next video.